are looking to go to Japan, this is the tourist guide about the climate or weather and the flora and fauna of Japan. To start, in the months of March to May are considered as the spring months. The climate in Japan is especially pleasant and it is, without a doubt, a fantastic time to visit Japan and enjoy it to the fullest without having to worry about the weather. The weather in Japan during the spring months is mild. The average temperature in Tokyo during these months is 17.3 degrees. The rains, if there are any, are not every abundant. Spring coincides with one of the most anticipated phenomenal in Japan, the cherry blossoms, called hanami. Um, if you travel during these months, you may be lucky enough to be able to enjoy Japan and its beautiful flowery landscapes. The flora of Japan is characterized by great variety of species. In Japan, there are about 4,500 indigenous plants, mm, angiosperms, and gymnosperms are unique to Japan. This large number of plants reflects the great climatic diversity of the Japanese ar- archipelago, archipelago, which stretches 3,500 kilometers from north to south. The most outstanding climate characteristic are the wide range of temperature and the large amount of rain, which together favor the abundant flora of the country. It is also due to the climate that almost 70% of Japan is covered by forest, whose foliage changes color significantly with the different seasons of the year. Vegetation is distributed in the following five zones, all belonging to the temperature zone of East Asia. The subtropical zone, which includes the islands of Ryukyu and Ogasawara, the warm temperature zone of the evergreen forest, which covers the most of the southern Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu, where the characteristic trees are shi and kashi, which are type of oak, the cool temperature zone with this deciduous and broadleaf forest, which cover the central and the northern regions of Honshu, and the southern part of Hokkaido, where Japanese beech and other common varieties of Japanese cranes can be found. Kushiro swamp. This rare crane, which is protected species in Japan, breeds only in Siberia and Hokkaido. Okay. Matsu and Sugi Japanese pine and cedar are found through the archipelago, even in the hot southern regions, and are deeply embedded in the culture of the Japanese people. The pines create splendid landscapes. The most outstanding landscape is that of Amanohashidate in Kyoto, where more than 6,000 pine trees stand aligned on the sandbank. The large pines, which reach heights of about 40 meters, also serve as windbreaks in coastal areas, while the small pines are used as bonsai, as garden trees, and as raw material of the construction of houses and furniture. Pine trees are also considered sacred trees. Ancient people had the reverential awe of nature and saw symbols of divine spirits in plants and trees. For example, there was a period when the worship of evergreen trees such as pine, cedar, and cypress was commonplace because they were believed to house heaven-sent deities, and the still common custom of decorate, decorating and entrances of houses with pine branches or kadomatsu, which literally means entrance pine, comes from the belief that this was the appropriate way to welcome the gods. Flora in daily life, the plant of the best represent Japan is the sakura or cherry tree. The sakura is a Japanese tree which has been preferred by the Japanese since ancient times. Today, the Japanese take advantage of the spring cherry blossom opportunity to organize Hunami, flower viewing parties. Many festivities, such as school commencement ceremonies and staff induction ceremonies, companies during this season of the year. Television and newspapers weather forecast broadcast and include maps of cherry blossom as they bloom from south in Okinawa to north in Hokkaido. Autumn, when the leaves change color, offers another opportunity to appreciate nature. It is said that hundreds of years ago, people played music and danced under the trees, but today many Japanese people crowd into cars and trains in search of the false color, especially in the maple trees.
When visiting Japan, there are many types of dishes and local specialties that you can choose from. These are four traditional dishes you can taste while being there. The first one it is sushi, which is one of the best known Japanese foods around the world. Sushi usually refers to a dish of pressed vinegar rice with a piece of raw fish on top. It's generally eaten with soy sauce and wasabi. Sushi was originally invented as a mean of preservation. This was known as nari sushi. The rice was thrown away and only the fish consumed. A later variant, called nama nari sushi, invented in 16th century, introduced the idea of using vinegar rice, which was consumed instead of being thrown away, and this is still enjoyed today. The second dish, it is ramen, which was born when the Chinese noodle dish came to Japan and fused with Japanese cuisine, combining noodles, soup stock, sauce, in fat or oil. There are limitless recipes that include variations in style and flavor, such as soy sauce ramen, miso ramen, salty ramen, pork bone ramen, and dipping ramen. Each region in Japan also has its own local style of ramen. These regional differences are called local ramen. The different types of local ramen are featured at the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum. The third dish it is tempura. This is a dish that consists of vegetables and seafood butter and deep fried and served over rice or noodles. The seafood is usually shrimp or white fish. Vegetables commonly used include onions, potatoes, green peppers, and carrots. Tempura was introduced around the commercial port city of Nagasaki by Portuguese missionaries. Tempura can be found in many types of restaurants across the country, where it is commonly served as a main dish or as a topping for tendon rice bowls. And the last one, it is yakitori. Yakitori is a popular food where chicken is cut into small pieces, then placed on bamboo skewers and grilled. You will also find other types of meat and vegetables on skewers too. It is usually seasoned lightly with salt. The best yakitori is served at specialty restaurants known as yakitoriya, but it can also be found at many other types of restaurants across Japan, such as izakaya, which are casual drinking establishments where customers order a variety of small dishes of food that can be shared at the table. The origin of yakitori it is said to be more than 1300 years ago when chicken meat was a luxury food in Japan.
Culture. When we talk about culture in Tokyo, we have two quite interesting sides. The first is about its history. They have a huge history. They have a centuries setting their customs and traditions. The other side is the new technologies and the new culture about this. They have wonderful buildings, history buildings like temples or palaces. Otherwise, if we talk about the present, they have a lot of buildings full of technology. This city is the most advanced in the world. Martial arts. Everyone has heard about martial arts. The best now are karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, even sumo. It's a discipline very famous. All these disciplines used to be taught for the battlefield. Even in these days, the army is still using traditions. They have a lot of things of its history, like ninjas and katanas. There are a lot of movies or books where we can find them. Kimono is the most important and famous clothing. It usually wears to special events like weddings or holidays. Today, they have new technologies like virtual reality. There you can play video games or just visit a specific place like mountains, rivers, cities, anywhere. Also, VR is used to learn many things like drive a car, surgeries, or another kind of simulations. Pop culture. Pop culture is a new phase of Tokyo. Since 1970, anime and manga and the cosplay have been very normal in everyday life. This new culture is support to the new technologies, especially video games and the TV.
Let's talk about where to lodging in Japan. Where to sleep? Warning, Japan is not a cheap place. Japan is one of the most expensive places of the world. We'll show you some of the best lodging options. For example, we have hotels. You can book a hotel in Tokyo at a low price if you do in advance. Take care about the sun and make sure that the hotel be close of a metro station. You have to consider the sun of the ubication of the hotel. The hotel must be ubicated in a touristic zone, a zone where you can ubicate a restaurant, a place to buy something that you want, a place that you have a small shop, or things that you want. Maybe you have to find nearly from you some things or that another person prefer don't have, or maybe you will find to have restaurant or sushi, or maybe you want some bars. That depends from you. uh Raikan. What's a Raikan? It's a traditional Japanese lodging. It's advisable to spend a night on one of these places to taste an authentic Japanese experience. In a Raikan, you will find a tatami floor. You can sleep on futonis. You will taste a variety of traditional tea. Of course, the best service that you will find in Japan. They are some beautiful as is one of the places that you have to try one time in your life. Another option that we have are the hostel. What's that? It's one of the most popular options for tourists who travel alone. The option to share a room is cheaper. Obviously, that people is strange and you don't know that people. But that don't means that it's the worst option that that you can find. It's one of the best. It's funny and you will have many adventures on these places. You will make friends something and you don't have to travel alone. You can travel with a friend or with your girlfriend or your boyfriend. It's a experience that you have to try. For the last one, we have a capsule hotel. What's that? It's a small modular space that features many small bed-sized rooms known as capsules. They have space enough for only one person and provide the basic accommodation to sleep. It's one of the most cheapest options. Of course, you have to consider that these places are just for one person. If you want to bring another person, you have to pay for another capsule. And these places are thinking just to sleep. They are not thinking that you spend all the day inside. They are just the most cheaper options, and many of them are very kind, but are the preference is they are just to sleep. Okay, and what activities we can do in Japan? We'll tell you about some of the best activities to make in Japan. We can explore the Japan nightlife. Japan is one of the cities with the most biggest nightlife. You can find some bars, you can find tabernas, you can find antros, but you have to take care because many places are just for Japanese and another places are especially for tourists. So you have to check that. You can to visit the Nintendo World. Nintendo World is one of the fantastic parts of the world. It's made by Nintendo and show many of their characters popular in its video games like Mario, Peach, Luigi, Yoshi, Princesita Peach, Princess Peach, Boo, and they have many activities and plays that you have to see. You can visit the Sega building. The Sega building is a place that you have that where you will find video games from by Sega, like Sonic or Street Fighter. There are many things to do there, like play video games or shop video games. So it's a nice place to visit. The last activity that I recommend is walk through the Imperial Palace Gardens. The Imperial Palace Gardens are a place where people come to make cosplay, to make some activities, to spend the time, to take relax. It's a nice place. So this is the final part, and we hope that you are enjoying. Thank you, teacher, so much.